Today, we are diving deep into how you can reboot your body's entire stress system. And we're going to do it by getting to know and learning how to tame one single, incredibly powerful hormone, cortisol.
So let me ask you a question. Does that phrase, wired but tired, just hit home? You know that feeling, right? You're completely exhausted, just drained, but your mind is racing a million miles an hour and you just can't seem to switch off. If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. It is the classic sign that this one hormone might be secretly running your life. And today, we're going to learn how to take back the controls.
So, let's start by properly introducing the main character in our story today, cortisol. It is so often misunderstood, but it is absolutely essential to how you feel every single moment of every single day.
Right off the bat, we need to get something straight. We hear the word cortisol and we immediately think stress hormone, the bad guy. But that's really not the whole picture. A much better way to think about cortisol is to think of it like fire. It's absolutely essential for giving us warmth and energy, but it's pretty destructive when it gets out of control. It regulates your metabolism, your immune response, and your entire sleep-wake cycle. Cortisol isn't the enemy. It's all about bringing it back into balance.
Okay, so how does your body manage this fire? Well, it does it through this brilliant communication network called the HPA axis. The easiest way to picture it is like a command chain. When your brain perceives a threat, and that could be a real danger or, let's be honest, just a stressful email, your hypothalamus sends a signal to your pituitary gland, which then tells your adrenal glands, okay, release the cortisol. It's this really sophisticated top-down system.
So when this system is working perfectly, when it's in sync, it follows this beautiful, predictable rhythm. This is what a healthy, balanced state is actually supposed to look and feel like.
You see, your body has this amazing internal clock, and cortisol is one of its main timekeepers. In a healthy cycle, your cortisol levels are supposed to be highest in the morning. That's what gives you the energy to pop out of bed and tackle the day. And then as the day goes on, those levels gradually decline, hitting their absolute lowest point at night. And that dip is crucial. It's what allows you to fall into that deep, restorative sleep.
And that big morning surge, it actually has a name. It's called the cortisol awakening response, or CAR for short. We're talking about a 75% spike in cortisol that happens right after you wake up. Now, this isn't a stress response, not at all. Think of this as your body's natural, built-in coffee maker. It's a healthy kickstart designed to make you alert and focused for the day ahead.
And here you can see it plain as day. On the left, that's the healthy pattern we're aiming for. A big, strong peak in the morning and then a nice steep decline into the evening. But now look at the right. This is what happens under chronic stress. That morning peak gets blunted, which is why you wake up feeling groggy and hitting snooze. And even worse, your evening levels stay way too high. This flattened pattern, that is the biochemical root of feeling wired but tired.
So, if this system is so finely tuned, how does it actually break? Well, the answer usually lies in the constant, low-grade hum of modern life and all of its hidden triggers.
This analogy is just perfect for explaining the difference. You see, your body is built to handle acute stress. It's like a wave that comes in, it crests, and then it goes back out. But the chronic stress of our modern world is totally different. It's like a slowly rising tide that never, ever fully recedes. And it gradually resets your entire system to a higher level of alert, creating what scientists call allostatic load, which is basically the cumulative wear and tear on your body from being stuck in overdrive.
And that rising tide, it shows up as very real, very physical symptoms. You know that 3 p.m. energy crash that hits you like a ton of bricks? That stubborn weight gain right around your middle that just won't budge no matter what you do? Lying in bed, feeling utterly exhausted, but your mind just won't shut off. These aren't just random annoyances. They are literal red flags that your cortisol rhythm is way out of sync.
So what's really causing this? Well, you might be surprised. It's usually not the big, obvious emergencies. It's these subtle, hidden stressors that add up. The blue light from your phone at 10 p.m. is literally telling your brain it's still daytime. That afternoon coffee is still active in your system when you're trying to go to bed. And every time you get a social media notification, it creates a tiny little micro spike of cortisol. Cumulatively, day after day, they keep your stress system constantly switched on.
And over time, this constant pressure can wear the whole system down in a few predictable stages. First, you hit the alarm stage. This is when you feel wired, anxious, maybe you can't sleep. Then comes resistance, where that curve starts to flatten, and you really notice the afternoon fatigue and the weight gain. And finally, you can hit exhaustion, where the rhythm is just flat, and you feel this profound fatigue and brain fog. This is what so many people experience as burnout.
But listen, here is the truly good news in all of this. This system is designed to heal. It wants to get back into balance. You can absolutely reboot it. So let's walk through a simple, actionable sequence of rituals that work with your body, not against it, to restore its natural rhythm.
We're going to focus on 4 really high-impact, science-backed rituals. They're simple, they're mostly free, and they directly address those hidden stressors we just talked about. So let's break them down one by one.
Okay, step 1. This is maybe the most powerful signal you can possibly send to your internal clock, and it happens first thing in the morning. Getting just 5 to 10 minutes of direct sunlight into your eyes, and yes, even on a cloudy day, triggers a healthy cortisol awakening response and properly times your hormones for the entire day. It's the most important anchor you can set for your rhythm.
Now, let's jump to the other end of the day. You need to send your brain a clear signal that it's time to wind down. The blue light from our screens actively suppresses our sleep hormone melatonin while keeping cortisol artificially high, creating a digital sunset, which is just a 90-minute screen-free buffer before you want to be asleep, is one of the most effective things you can do to let your body's natural sleep chemistry take over.
All right, let's talk about that afternoon coffee. Caffeine has what's called a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. Now, what does that mean? It means if you drink a coffee at 3 p.m., half of that caffeine is still active and buzzing around in your system at 8 or 9 p.m. It's directly getting in the way of that crucial evening cortisol drop. A firm 2 p.m. curfew is one of the best ways to protect your evening rhythm.
And finally, we've got what is probably the most enjoyable way to lower your cortisol. Research has actually shown that just 15 minutes spent sitting or walking in a natural green space, what's often called nature bathing, can lower your salivary cortisol by over 13%. It's like a powerful primal reset button for our frazzled nervous systems. Okay, so we've covered the problem, and we've walked through a 4-step solution. Now, for the most important part, how do we turn this knowledge into a real, sustainable change in your life? How do we make it stick?
This quote really gets to the heart of it. This isn't about fighting your body or trying to force it to do something unnatural. Your body knows exactly what to do. It's about removing the confusing signals of modern life and just giving it the clear, simple signals it evolved to understand. It's all about alignment, not more effort.
And please hear me on this. You do not have to do all of this at once. I mean, that would just be another stressor, right? The goal here is not perfection. It is consistency. Small, daily actions create these powerful compounding benefits over time, so just pick one of these rituals to start with. Master it, feel the difference, and then, maybe then, you can add another.
So that brings us to the final and honestly the most important question. Looking at everything we've just covered, what is the one small strategic adjustment that you can realistically commit to trying this week? Is it going to be the morning sunlight, the digital sunset, that caffeine curfew? Whatever it is, that one choice is your very first step to reclaiming your natural rhythm and feeling like yourself again.